Alright.
Opening bank robbery.
We're live.
Now, 6 months
Let's
before this movie
go.
came out, a group of friends and I drove 2 hours to the nearest IMAX theater to see a special advanced screening of these first 6 minutes. And every time I watch a sequence, I discover something new that I love about it. So indulge me. First, we open on a shot of Gotham's skyline. Now, as we see throughout this movie, the city of Gotham is actually its own principal character in this movie. Its people serve as a microcosm for all of humanity. And the conflict of this movie ultimately boils down to a battle for Gotham's soul. Nolan tested this idea by shooting the city, which is set in Chicago, from all angles. Lots of aerial shots showing the vertical skyline, but also the street level and the shadow of the L train, and down below on Lower Wacker Drive. You get a real sense of Gotham as a living, breathing city with its own multi-dimensional society. By the way, we also get a tease of the music Hans Zimmer composed for the movie. This is the Joker's theme, and it's very simple, starting with a single D note played on electric cello. That's the same instrument Zimmer would later use for Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Zimmer also experimented with razor blades.
There we go, Karis
and
LeVert.
metal on guitar strings, all to give the Joker's theme a more
Steel.
texture to it. Chris Nolan insisted on all the music in his Batman movies to be originally scored, forbidding the use of
Kyle Corver for 3. Nope, that's short.
Painted black for a trailer, but it never happened. Don't worry, Jonah, we got you covered. After a quick reflection,
Dang, that's tough. Okay.
show us that no one's perfect. The Joker's elaborate heist begins. Whee! And down on the street, we push in on the Joker in his clown mask. Now, all of these clown masks were designed uniquely for each character. The costume designer, Lindy Hemming, said that the Joker and his gang would have gotten hold of a box of plain white masks, and that each would have painted his own clown makeup on it. Actually, the Joker's mask is a specific nod to Batman history. This is the same design worn by Cesar Romero's Joker in an episode of the 60s.
That's a break. That's Brennan Knight. That's Brennan Knight.
The Joker masks himself.
Wow.
Silent as his goons document.
Artist, whatever.
All 3 of these movies open with the villain hiding in plain sight, letting his reputation precede him before he reveals himself. And notice the exchange here.
Let's do this. 3 guys, 2 guys on the roof. Every guy gets a share.
Give me that. Board. Nope. Okay.
Okay, a few things here. First, the guy says 3 of a kind, which of course is a hand in poker. The Joker's emblem is a Joker playing card, and references to poker and gambling come up throughout the movie.
I'll show you. Now, you need an ace in the hole. We bet it all.
This gambling motif
That's a break.
significance of game theory in the Dark Knight. Game theory is a study of mathematical models of the way people interact and
Bayless, Corver,
economics and political science, and poker, if you know what you're doing. The Joker's scheme here is a gamble. He hired
3.
to help steal a massive loot, but he secretly
That's a bucket. Let's go.
Resulting in a larger share, ultimately leaving him to take the whole plot for himself. This plot is inspired by a game theory thought experiment called the Pirate Game, where a group of pirates negotiate the split of a treasure, deciding whom to kill to take a larger share. The solution for the senior-most pirate is to bribe the weakest pirate to conspire against the other pirates. The Joker plays these clowns the same way.
I saw my wrist on a little bit of flexing.
The manager of this bank is no pushover. He's, of course, in the pocket of organized crime, so he fights back with a shotgun. Notice how he fires at the robbers without caring at all about the innocents in the line of fire in the background. Some of them had to have been hit. This actor is William Fichtner, who has been in everything. He's in Armageddon, Black Hawk Down, and Michael Mann's Heat, which was the primary cinematic influence on The Dark Knight. Nolan looked to Heat as a roadmap to make a Batman movie as a thoughtful, thrilling cops and robbers tale. Both movies begin with elaborate heists, though this bank robbery is probably closer to the big bank robbery later in Heat, where duffel bags stuffed with cash seem way too light. Studies have actually been done showing that these bags would weigh over 350 pounds. Finally, the Joker reveals himself.
What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. Fichtner looks genuinely shaken here, and he's reflecting our shock the first time we saw Heath Ledger's face in this movie. From the beginning of this process, Nolan and Ledger conceived of a Joker that was completely different from Jack Nicholson's portrayal in Tim Burton's Batman, which at the time this movie started,
It's good defense, good board.
Iconic movie characters of all time. They actually looked to punk rockers like Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten, and the clothing styles of people like Iggy Pop and Adam Ant. They also looked at Alex from A Clockwork Orange, both the Malcolm McDowell original movie version and the version in the book, as a psychopathic gang leader who delights in his sadism. Nolan also cited the paintings of Francis Bacon, which inspired this Joker's bleak, distorted, sweaty face. Ledger reportedly stayed alone in a motel for 6 weeks, perfecting his character's mannerisms, movement, and voice. He actually invoked ventriloquist dummies to create this Joker's disconnected, mocking quality. Some have also compared his voice to the singer Tom Waits.
I have a growing level of popularity.
Now, of course, the most striking thing about him visually is his face.
Let's go. That's good.
As a result of his skin getting bleached after falling in an open vat of Ace chemicals. But this Joker wears makeup. Ledger would apply...
Jesus, no, that was bad.
Whenever you see a close-up
Oh, okay.
movie, you can see dry paint smeared on his fingers and under his fingernails. And of course, his smile is a result of scars. This is actually called a Glasgow smile, popular among street gangs in the UK in the 20s and 30s, and made even more famous in the Black Dahlia case in Los Angeles in 1947. For the movie, these scars were made with 3 pieces of stamped silicone, which Ledger had to keep prodding with his tongue to keep it from peeling off. He actually transformed this into a facial tic of the character, with the Joker constantly licking his scars like a dog almost. These facial scars were also on the main character from Victor Hugo's novel The Man Who Laughs and the 1928 movie. That title was actually used for a Joker graphic novel, The Man Who Laughs, which was actually one of the big comic influences for The Dark Knight. Notice how the Joker shoots the bus driver without looking at him. He actually kills a lot of people throughout this movie without making eye contact with them. And that could be inspired from a line in The Man Who Laughs. He didn't even look at them, like killing them wasn't even important. And speaking of source material from the DC comics, some have observed a little DC shout out in some music here. Notice how the second the Joker reveals himself, the music goes from a D down to a C. Simply makes you... Or if you're a tone-deaf skeptic, BS. Nolan described Ledger as fearless, which is actually key to the Joker. As I discussed in Batman Begins, each of the main characters in that movie were defined by their relationship with fear. But the Joker is the first character in this trilogy truly without fear. So he has nothing to lose. This makes The Dark Knight all about dualities. And the Joker and Batman are 2 sides of the same coin. Batman represents order, and the Joker represents anarchy. But I'll get to more of that later. One last detail before I move on. Check out the school bus's license plate. The crew custom made these Gotham license plates, but they modeled them to look like Illinois license plates, since they shot the movie in Chicago, and Illinois plates would have been showing up in the background. So we move on to Jim Gordon, with Gary Oldman returning in the role. Waiting by the bat signal, he's greeted by his rookie, Ramirez.
I thought you had to go look after your mother, detective.
Checked her back into the hospital.
Now we know later that Harvey Dent doesn't trust cops like Ramirez, but right away she gives us a smoking gun in the form of this shady little eye shift. Later it's revealed that it was Ramirez who betrayed Harvey Dent because she was in debt to the Joker's gang for her mother's medical bills. Then we move on to this drug deal with Dr. Crane, aka Scarecrow, with Cillian Murphy reprising his character from Batman Begins for just a cameo in this movie. This deal is interrupted by these copycat Batmen. They're wannabe vigilantes who dress up like Batman, and they're based on the Sons of Batman and Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, which is another major comic influence on Nolan. The deal,
Grayson.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Ooh, turn down the bass. Honestly,
Grayson.
I was like, what are hockey
Remember when you streamed it on a Falcon?
voice? Actually, while shooting this movie, he actually used a voice that was similar to what he used in Batman Begins, but Nolan felt Batman needed a grittier rasp. So he had Bale actually re-record his lines in post-production. So take it up with Nolan. After this, the security camera photo of the Joker. It's dated in 2008. 7/18. This was the movie's release date, July 18th, 2008. Alfred Pennyworth, Michael Caine, stitches up Bruce in the temporary Batcave after Bruce's mansion burned down and Batman Begins, and we move on to Rachel Dawes in Court, with Maggie Gyllenhaal now playing the role after Katie Holmes opted not to return. Joining her is Harvey Dent.
Shut up, Kelby.
Like the district attorney. You may remember The Dark Knight had a super elaborate viral marketing campaign in the year before the release, with a big part of it centered around this fictional election, with a fake website showing the slogan, "I believe in Harvey Dent." Eckhart based his performance of Dent on Bobby Kennedy, a similarly dashing and idealistic attorney/politician. His career became sort of driven by revenge, who of course had a very dark end that saw him becoming a martyr. He's prosecuting Sal Maroni, who has taken over the Falcone crime organization since Falcone lost it and Batman Begins.
Kelby.
Guys, pulls a gun on Dent, but it misfires. And for a second, this recalled a moment in the Batman comic The Long Halloween, which is another big influence on Nolan's movies. In The Long Halloween, Harvey Dent was attacked during trial when Sal Maroni throws acid on his face, disfiguring him and driving him insane. We actually saw this version of events in news footage in Batman Forever. Afterward, Dent meets with Gordon in his office, and the two men are hesitant to trust each other.
Well, you don't have to sell me, Dad. You don't own the Gotham's White Knight.
I heard they have a different name for me down at MCU.
I don't know if I do.
With the term The White Knight, Gordon provides the first reference to this movie's title, The Dark Knight. And that other name Dent refers to, we later learn, is Harvey Two-Face. This is another example of that duality concept I brought up earlier. Dent's character token is his double-headed coin. He uses it to manipulate people, a literal representation of his two-faced reputation. But like the Joker, Dent is also on one side of the same coin as
I have 24 points with Kyle Korver. That's crazy. 24 whole points with just Kyle Korver. One man.
Of the White Knight and the Dark Knight.
I have 3 points with Karis Liver. The rest are Kyle Korver. Straight up.
And he asks for a new suit.
I want to be able to turn it in. Shortly backing out of the driveway.
This is kind of a meta joke about the past movie versions of the Batman suit, in which his cowl was connected in one piece to his neck and shoulders, so that if he wanted to turn his head, he had to, like, turn his whole body. Next
Brick, that's a brick, that's a brick.
Now, take a look at this dude sitting at the table next to them. In rewatches, a number of viewers have speculated that this kind of looks like Heath Ledger without makeup, and that the Joker could be spying on Harvey and Rachel. But if you look closely, this definitely isn't Ledger. This guy doesn't have scars. But I'll admit it does look a lot like the actor, especially from behind. It could actually be the actor's stand-in, filling in as an extra here. Bruce and his date, Natasha, the prima ballerina, join them in a double date, and Harvey defends Batman by comparing Gotham to ancient Rome. This actually continues Ra's al Ghul's historical comparison for Batman Begins, though Ra's
No balls.
is more cynical, referring to Gotham's corruption.
No balls.
Like Rome. Whereas Harvey's comparison is idealistic.
Bruh.
Harvey is referring to Julius Caesar, for whom absolute power corrupted absolutely. And
Give me that.
applies to Harvey
That's a
himself,
board.
where Batman decides to allow to die a hero, rather than the truth of his villainous epilogue become public. But within this
2,
lies a deeper meaning
1. Let me make that full court. Let me make it.
Sacrifice, signaling to Bruce that he could be more than just a white knight, you know, the kind of hero who leads and inspires. He could also be a true hero, one who gives up what he loves. This parallelism between Harvey and Bruce is reflected in Natasha covering the top half of Harvey's face with a white menu, creating the image of a white knight doppelganger of Batman. But of course, this image the shadows of a face on Harvey's face, well, half of it. Next, we move on to the Joker's new room, the crime bosses in the kitchen, including the Chechen, Maroni, and Gamble. And of course, the Joker shows off his infamous pencil trick. Wait, just so we're clear, the Joker totally put that pencil through the dude's eye socket. It's a real documented medical injury called transorbital intracranial penetrating injury, where people have jammed all kinds of things into their heads through their eyes, including pencils. So don't try it, kids. The Joker makes a deal with the bosses. Kill the Batman so they can return to their regular criminal business as usual in exchange for half of their fortune. The Joker's reaction here is interesting. He seems genuinely miffed at being called crazy. Now, that could be because he's actually thought this out all the way through. He's once again employing game theory. In this case, it's called the shrinking pie game. Two kids have an ice cream pie that's quickly melting, and the longer they wait to figure out how to divide that pie, the less overall pie they have to eat. So basically, the idea is waiting is costly. In this case, the boss's profits are the shrinking pie. And according to the rules of this game, when you look into it, the Joker's initial offer of 50% is extremely reasonable. So yeah, he's right. He's definitely not crazy. Since Lau moved the boss's money, Gordon's raid was a bust, leading Gordon, Dent, and Batman arguing on the rooftop. Here we see the three heroes fighting to save Gotham in their own ways, all failing because they refuse to fully trust each other. Nolan conveys this distrust and bewilderment with an interesting camera movement. From the start of the scene, notice how he orbits the camera around them, letting the actors bark at each other in real time. It's almost like the three of them are caught in a tornado. A tornado of life. Or just a tornado of bureaucratic and jurisdictional confusion.
Bruh, oh my god, what do you mean, brother?
Agree on a solution. Use Batman to extradite Lau. Fox recommends the groups a way to get back into a plane without it landing. A CIA program called Skyhook. Skyhook is actually a real thing from CIA history. Its official name was the Fulton Service to Air Cover